Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm going to put this live stream on my YouTube channel like I did the last one. It worked. It worked pretty well. Yeah, I wanted to share this with people. I think this is an introvert's dream for, well, it can be for anyone, but especially introverted people. So during the lockdown, we've been in lockdown now. What is it? Almost 7 months. This has been going on, and during that time, I've had a lot of time walking around London, which is something I used to do anyway, but I suppose I didn't do it as much when things were normal. So some really positive insights to share with people, for people that live in London, for anyone, people that don't live in London, people that live abroad. It's really fascinating, and I can't really explain the words, when you go to all these different touristic places in London, all these historic places, and I wanted to share that with people because, you know, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put it into words, but it's a unique experience, especially when you do it regularly. You know, it's fascinating. One of the things about London as well is how it's crazy how close everything is to each other. Especially in central London, I didn't realise that. The more I walk, it's almost like the more I walk around the city, it's like it shrinks. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. So if you're in Covent Garden, for example, and you want to get to Tower Hill, Tower Bridge, you know, in your mind it feels like it's miles away. But actually, once you walk it, if you actually walk it, it's not as far as you think. And the more walking I do, it's almost like everything's so in junction with one another. It's a lot closer, if that makes sense. And I wouldn't have figured this stuff out if I hadn't have took the time to go for these long walks that I go for, which I really like. And I know a lot of people who are quite introverted will probably really enjoy doing this, because there's many positive things that you get to experience. So for one, it's great to see the history in London. It's great to see all the touristic parts like, you know, Tower Bridge, Tower Hill, you know, Covent Garden, Piccadilly Circus, St Paul's Cathedral, the South Bank, you know, London Bridge. All these famous landmarks, all these historic places are, you know, they're all kind of close to each other, and they're available for anyone who wants to walk around and see these sites. And if you want, obviously, you can go further into the history. So it's almost like, if I can explain my words correctly, I've got to know the city. I don't know, I've got to know the city a lot more from spending a lot of time walking around, because we've been in this this phase of lockdown and everything, and it's been great. It's been an ongoing relationship I've been building, and it's really great. I'm having a bit of trouble explaining it. It's really difficult to. I thought this would be easy to explain, but it's more difficult than I thought, which is good, because it's good when things are challenging. So I wanted to share it with people because I think, especially as today is World Mental Health Day, especially for mental health, going for a walk, if you've got the opportunity in a city like London, I mean, it can be stressful as well, but a lot of these places I've been walking are really peaceful, and there's not that many people around. Sometimes there's a lot of people, sometimes there ain't. So it's been amazing going around all these places and really taking in the history and being right next to it, and it's so available, which is amazing. Sometimes in your own mind it feels like it's not available for you. It feels like it's miles away. But once you start walking around and getting familiar with the city and the different touristic points I've mentioned, it's ever so real, if that makes sense. And I think it's really good for your mental health. It gives you confidence, you know, walking around in public, seeing these different touristic places, and really, you know, like being right in them and kind of taking in the history and getting a sense of the history of the different places. It just, I don't know, for me, I take a lot of inspiration from it. I get a lot of ideas. It gets you out of your head, and you can't really go wrong. And it's all free, you know. It doesn't cost any money to walk around this beautiful parts of the city and to get to know different places that you might not know. So those that I've named are just a few off the top of my head. There are more places that I have been walking around, but yeah, I've just been, and it's good for fitness as well. It's good for losing weight, it's good for mental health, and it's a simple thing, but yeah, it's a simple thing. I can't even explain it properly, but it's a simple thing that can give you a great experience of many different things that are mostly positive. So this is the thing I wanted to share. It's in conjunction as well with the last video that I did with how to relieve stress and anxiety. This is one of the hobbies that I do, how I do it. So I think it's really good, especially for introverted people that might sometimes find it difficult being in, you know, groups of lots of people and stuff, and you just feel like being on your own, but you still want to go out and connect and, you know, and socialize. So yeah, it's crazy that most things are, I mean, unless you're someone that doesn't like walking, most people do. Most things are in walking distance. Like, I walk around the whole city. Like, I'll walk from Tottenham Court Road, you know, to Oxford Circus, Regent Street, Piccadilly, Covent Garden to Strand, from Strand to the South Bank, from South Bank to London Bridge, from London Bridge to St Paul's Cathedral, and then from St Paul's Cathedral back down to Holborn. So it's just fun. It's an adventure. So I recommend it, especially if you're not from this country and you want to, when things get back to normal, you want to come to London. If you like sightseeing and walking, I really do recommend it. It's a beautiful city. And it's amazing how everything changes, you know, when you move from the next point to the next point. Trafalgar Square, for example, going from Trafalgar Parks as well. Hold on a second. Yeah, you know, for a while I've been thinking about doing some video blogs on a more on my professional camera, you know, touring around the city and showing people different parts of London that I like. Yeah, I've done a little bit, Andy. That's another thing that you can do, of course. But not as much lately. I've been focusing on other stuff. I was doing it for a while, but yeah, that's available as well. So yeah, it's hard to explain this because I'm trying to explain something that's kind of simple, but it's affected me in a very positive way. So yeah, just learning the city more. And as I said, one of the insightful things is it's crazy how you can be in one part of London, you can walk a little bit, it doesn't feel that far, and then you're in a totally different historic touristic part that you didn't realise was so closely connected, if that makes sense. Go up here. So basically I've been enjoying sightseeing in London, going around, and you know, some of the places, as I said, I knew already, but there were other parts that I wasn't aware of, and I've been able to use this time to get around the city and basically almost like I suppose a taxi driver, learning the knowledge, learning more of the streets and learning different routes and stuff. It's been amazing. It's been really good. Oh, it's getting tiring doing these walks and these live streams. So yeah, I wanted to share that with people on the channel. I think people would appreciate it. So it's great for mental health. It's really good if you don't feel like being around people, which I can understand. I feel like that sometimes as well. Even though my core message has always been to get over your social fears and socialise, which is true, I agree on that. But if there's a time when you just want to clear your head, you want to get out and you want to come outside of your comfort zone, it's really, really healthy, very therapeutic. There's quite a few groups in London, I don't know if they still do, they probably do, where they do these walking tours. And you can, most of them are free on meetup.com, I remember. But I like doing my own tour sometimes on my own, and probably you'll feel the same at some point. You'll want to go and explore things on your own, because then you can go on your own pace. I've also over the years done a lot of this stuff with friends. I did it with clients in the past who flew over and did coaching with me, and a lot of sightseeing, a lot of walking around. I love it. I think it's so good for people mentally and emotionally. For me as well, I also thought it would look really nice and creative to get more shots of London and film it, because I love filmmaking anyway. I love making videos, so it all kind of makes sense to me. I like inspiring people, so I'm sure people will get some inspiration from my enthusiasm and passion with regards to walking around London and checking out different. Yeah, for me it's nice because sometimes I can actually feel like a tourist in my own country, and I like that feeling of feeling everything's new, exploring it. I like that, because otherwise for me it can feel boring, it can feel a bit monotonous, Groundhog Day. So this really does help me to break up my days and create a sense of adventure, excitement, history, and I can also learn more history and more about London by going around and exploring different parts of London. So yeah, it's really not hard. Anyone can do it. I remember years ago I actually had fears to do this. That's probably nothing I'm trying to say. It was a big fear of mine. Going out in public was scary, you know, just leaving my house, because I had really bad social anxiety. I was very paranoid. So it's really nice to get to this point and share this with people, because some of you might be going through this, and you can do this. I'm telling you, I did it. I didn't think I could do all this stuff. I always felt like, I would need a friend, I'd need my mum or my dad to do. I couldn't do this on my own, but I proved I could do it on my own. I just had to face my fears, use my own initiative, my own incentive, and go out and explore London. And it's great because you can have a meal as well. You can get food, you know, there's activities and stuff. So it's it really is a wonderful thing to have this available. And most of the time it's free. Obviously, you need a few quid if you want to be able to get a coffee or a drink, some food, but it doesn't cost any money to walk around. Well, not at this moment in time anyway, to walk around the city and explore it. See, already now, look where I am now. Now, basically, where am I? I know Holborn's up that way. So I've got to know the streets better. I'm learning, and it's a nice skill to have and to learn, to be able to know the geography of your city more and know different routes and learn. Like I said, like learning the knowledge, like cab drivers or taxi drivers or couriers, they have to learn the streets. And I've been kind of doing that naturally through every maybe once a week, twice a week. I go on these long walks and I explore. I go around London, and it doesn't take as long as you think. It takes around 2-3 hours, 4 hours max. I'd say 3 hours to see so many different parts of London that are beautiful parts, especially Tower Bridge, and I mean all of it, all of the main touristic parts. Okay, gotta watch these roads. Yeah. I even do this thing as well, which is I actually try and get lost, and then which is almost impossible, and then I have to try and find my way. So it's fun. I do enjoy it, especially during this lockdown. And then when I get home later on, I feel great. I come out from the walk. I've done 3-4 hours of exercise. It's therapy for me. It's good for my mental health. I'll get back home and I'll look forward to, you know, making YouTube videos, catching up on stuff, doing projects, and putting out a lot of positive stuff to help people. So, and I'm in another famous place now. This is Hatton Garden. See, a lot of the places I knew by name, but now I know them by name, I know them by location, and I know how to get from, you know, I know how to get from Tottenham Court Road to Tower Bridge, or from Tower Bridge to St James's Park, Hyde Park. So I'm learning London a lot more, and it's a lot of fun.
No, vabbè.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to explain as well, right? Because I'm a very emotional person. I'm sure a lot of my followers are as well, right? And it's emotionally, it's a lot of fun when you do this. Logically, making a video and telling people to go around London, that's one thing. But when you do it emotionally, it's very emotional. Doing this is fun. Yeah, I've been thinking about this for the last few months. I've always got ideas for videos. At some point, I think I'm going to do more of a professional video of going around London and just showing people different parks. I had an idea before, many ideas. I'm doing a video on good dating locations, so some stuff like that. So yeah, that's it really. I don't really have anything much more to say on that. I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. People might like it. It might encourage people to do more sightseeing around London. All right, become fearless, and yeah, I'm finished.